Welcome everybody back to DHS SportsCenter. Today I'm here with Mr. Bro, who is our Special Olympics coordinator and our unified sports coach here at Dartmouth High. Welcome, Mr. Bro.
Ben, thanks for having me, buddy. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and by the way, this is your 5th time on DHS SportsCenter.
Yeah, man, we're racking up the appearances here, which is fun. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. So first things first, we're going to talk about Teresa Street, the 5K that just happened over the weekend, and Special Olympics, which will be later in the episode. So first things first, do you want to explain what Teresa Street is?
Yeah, Teresa Street is a local nonprofit. It's founded and created by all Dartmouth alumni, and they have been working for the last 2 or 3 years now as a nonprofit, full-fledged certified nonprofit, and they really want to focus on giving back in their community. So they have worked tirelessly with Dartmouth, New Bedford, and the surrounding community to give back to initiatives that are educational based or mental health support based.
Yeah.
So we've partnered with them for a few events, and they are a really, really special organization that's just getting started with supporting our community, but their fundraising efforts are unbelievable, and I think you got to see that with the 5K this weekend.
Yeah, and you could clearly tell, like, a lot of kids. There's 220 that signed up this year, correct?
Yeah, so we had 220 registrations just before the event. So after all was said and done, there were a lot of people that walked up day of and wanted to support. It was a beautiful day weather-wise, so it was a great draw. We ended up having over 250 walkers and runners, and we are safely able to say that we raised well over $12,000 for the 2 schools, so pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's really awesome that you clearly can tell, like, unified sports in between both schools, New Bedford and Dartmouth, that it's a really good organization. And you mentioned, like, this organization just started, like, in 2020, and it's already working from the ground up this year.
Yeah, and so Teresa Street started many, many years ago. We used to get together and just play wiffle ball in the backyard every summer. And no matter where we were, it was a group of friends, that sort of grew. But no matter where we were, one summer every weekend, we'd come back and sort of have a wiffle ball tournament. And it got to the point that it was getting so big that we said, why don't we start fundraising for something? And that was what Ray Paul, the founder of Teresa Street, really wanted to do, was give back. And so then they said that it had gotten kind of so big, why don't we make this a real thing of giving back and helping their community? So the work that they are doing, and they're choosing partners like us with Unified, the Atlas program, which we'll talk about kickball coming up, and they do a ton of different events that give back to local areas that really impact students, because students eventually turn into your adults and your society. So they want to make an impact at the root, and I think they're doing a fantastic job of that, as you saw with the 5K.
Yeah, and they do a lot of events too. Over the summer, I think they did like a wiffle ball tournament up in like in the Cape, I believe.
Yep, so it's local. They've done it for the last few years at the Stackhouse Club. They're moving this year to Buzzards Bay Brewery because it's gotten so big. So they're going to use the fields at Buzzards Bay Brewery to host their wiffle ball tournament. They put on a gala each year. They do a lot of different events. They have a pickleball tournament. So it's really cool. And I encourage people to check out their website, teresastreet.org, just to see the impact that they're having in our community.
Yeah. And, looking at it, though, upcoming, you just mentioned about it, there's also a kickball tournament coming up. You want to explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is going to be the first, hopefully, annual kickball tournament. They've never done one, but they see kickball as an opportunity that's more inclusive for anybody. Anyone can play kickball. Doesn't matter whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, whether you're a young kid, or you're somebody that's a little bit older. Anyone can play kickball. It's kind of fun. It's inclusive. So that was their idea this year, and we are really fortunate that they've chosen, again, a Dartmouth-based program to be the recipient of their fundraising. So all of the funds that are raised for kickball are going to support our Atlas program, which is really cool. The Atlas program, for those that don't know, supports our special ed students from 18 to 22, teaching them some vocational skills. So we're so excited that Teresa Street chose Dartmouth again, and they're going to support our Atlas program. So teams can get put in. They're going to do 16 teams in this kickball tournament. Yeah. It's going to take place on Saturday, May 18th from 12 noon to 8 p.m. in the stadium. So each team will play a few games on the turf field. The championship will be held under the lights at the stadium. So it should be a lot of fun, and anybody can put together a team. So they just have to have 10 kids and a minimum of 3 people from each gender. So
nice.
It'll be a lot of fun.
So you know how you just talk about the Atlas program. What is the funds that they're going to put in?
Yep. So all of the fundraising this year, the focus is on a van. So the Atlas program does a lot with vocational and learning life skills and trying to get the kids out into the community and almost support them in a job so that it better sets them up for life after DHS.
Yeah.
And the funds this year are going to support purchasing a van. Because without the van, you really can't get out into the community so much.
Yeah.
So the van, all the funds that Atlas gets through this kickball tournament will go towards the purchase of a van.
Yeah, and that's excellent. So shifting gears from there, from Teresa Street and whatnot, we have the upcoming Special Olympics. And this year, it's supposed to be much bigger than the past couple of years, the first time since 2019. You want to explain what Special Olympics is a little bit?
Yeah, I think you and I both know that might be our favorite day of the school year. But our Special Olympics school day games, it's going to be the 18th year, I think. So we are super excited to announce some changes and some growth. But due to COVID and just growing, the event has kind of split in the last few years. We've done a separate event for the elementary school kids and then a separate event for the middle school, high school, and graduate kids. We are really excited that this year we are bringing everybody back together. So it's going to be the first time, like you said, since 2019 that everyone has been together for one event in one spot. So Friday, May 17th, right here at the DYSA soccer fields, we're going to do one big Special Olympics event, and we couldn't be more excited.
And hope to God, like, it's should be a good day. Like,
fingers crossed.
Weather is good that day. That's all we can kind of pray for, though. But, like, you want to explain some schools that are coming to the Special Olympics? Yeah,
so this year we are anticipating almost 500 Special Olympians. That it's incredible. I mean, the amount of kids that we've grown from, it's really special because it's a great opportunity for them to be in the limelight and to have the focus on them for that day, and they love it. So we're looking at roughly 500 Special Olympians, if not a little bit more. There's going to be over 100 student volunteers. So we're talking about a pretty big event that day, which we could not be more excited.
People.
Almost 700 people, if not more. So,
yeah.
And we're so thankful that we've been able to partner with DYSA and use their fields. But yeah, we have grown. I know you asked about communities. A lot of the schools that have come in the past are still going to be coming. But this year we added the South Coast Educational Collaborative, which is really exciting. Not SMEC, it's actually SEC.
Oh.
So South Coast Educational Collaborative. So we're so excited to have them. They're based in Swansea.
Nice.
Yep.
So we kind of are getting a lot of people from the surrounding areas to come. And in the next couple of years, have you personally thought, like, to yourself, should we grow more?
Yeah, I think that's the tough part, right? Mr. Capello is obviously the integral part of all of this, right? And I think it's really hard for you to say no when you're providing an opportunity that's meant to be inclusive, right? So how can you decline someone of that? And so I think every year we kind of add somebody else, and I don't know, to answer your question, are we ever going to stop growing? Who knows? But we are really excited that we're adding Swansea with Case High School. Their transition program is coming, their 18 to 22 program, and then, like I said, the South Coast Educational Collaborative. And
you could tell, like, Case is coming, so, like, a lot of people from Dartmouth who went to Case is going to probably be interested in going to that because
it'll be a lot of fun.
Mr. Tebow, the director of Teaching and Learning, and our athletic director, Christopher.
Yep, they have their Case roots.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. We're
Swansea
so excited.
Roots too,
exactly.
So.
But yeah, we're really excited, and like you said, I hope that the weather's great because it really should be a lot of fun that day. The events kind of go from 10 to 1 this year. So being all in one place, we're going to do a little bit of a later start time. And so, yeah, like 9:30 to like 1 o'clock are the school day games. And we're really excited that it's back here at the high school because it gives the high school an opportunity to come out and support. And you see a lot of teachers bring their classes out for a period or two. And so we're really excited that it's back here this year and all in one spot.
Yeah, and supposed for that being, the opening ceremonies this year, it's all at a later time, correct? Like
yeah, so the opening ceremonies we're looking at right around 9:45, kicking everything off, and then the kids will go through their event station rotations for roughly an hour and a half, and then I think everybody's favorite part is the medal ceremony by the local community police officers, and then getting lunch and having the music with the DJ there and kind of dancing it up to end the day. So we're so excited, and I know Mr. Capello obviously isn't here today, but he is looking forward to the event too, which is fun.
Yeah, and so you speak about lunches this year. So we are still sticking with Domino's, correct?
Yeah, Domino's has been an incredible support of this event for many, many years, and honestly, without their generosity, I don't know if we could have it. So we're so excited that Domino's is a part of our school day games, and so I mean, really, we're looking at Domino's for food, and there are some other big, community not sponsors, but supports. Yeah. And we always thank their contributions too.
Yeah, and volunteers will potentially have Jersey mics, correct?
Yeah, we're not sure just yet on that aspect. We reached out to them. Yeah. Whether it happens or not, who knows? But I know Domino's is going to be a big support too.
And you could clearly tell, like, Domino's is really committed to this games, and like they really care for kids with like physical and intellectual disabilities, which is pretty awesome for them to really cooperate with the school day games this year. And moving from there, this year, how will it be a big change from going from the track to the soccer fields this year?
Yeah, Mr. Capello and I had talked about that, because at the root of Special Olympics, this event started and we were on a track. So you want to still incorporate some of those traditional Special Olympics Summer Games events, and we're going to do that. I mean, just like we've done on the turf field for the last few years, there's still a spot to do some running races. You can still incorporate your throwing events like your javelin or your softball throw and things that you're going to see at Special Olympics over the summer. So we are still able to do all of that, even though the location being on a grass soccer field changes, and we're still going to do that. So we'll still have a kicking station, some fun relays for the kids. And then this year, I think one of the biggest changes that we've tried to incorporate is Special Olympics Day is just one day, right?
Yeah.
So what we want to do, and Mr. Capello has worked really hard behind the scenes to make some of this stuff happen, but we want to make sure that the kids that are a part of it and their families are aware of what's available to them year round. Yeah. So we're bringing in a lot of outside vendors that have some really cool opportunities for kids to get involved with throughout the school year, whether it's karate, maybe it's surfing, gymnastics. There are so many resources available to families of students with physical and intellectual disabilities that they can get involved with, outside of Special Olympics. So Mr. Capello has done a lot of great work to make sure that those vendors are going to be there, and we'll be able to sort of sample some of the stuff that they do, and hopefully it hooks some kids.
And karate is going to be there, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Dan is coming back, and he'll do some demonstrations. We have Gnome Surf, which is an unbelievable organization out of Westport, Mass. They are really special with what they do for surfing. Bay State Gymnastics, and we have a few more. So we're really excited.
So, Mr. Bro, final question here. Do you want to explain some reminders how to get interactions in this?
Yeah, so I think it's important, obviously, for the community to get involved. That's what it's all about. So first off, I would encourage people to check out the teresastreet.org website and see what Teresa Street's all about and their upcoming events. Maybe people are interested in throwing a kickball team together. I hope so. I think you're going to see a couple of teacher teams that are playing that day, so good competition. And then honestly, Special Olympics, we hope that teachers will bring their classes out that day. If a student took learning partnerships, that's how they're able to volunteer. So we're just really excited to see people out there on May 17th on Friday for Special Olympics, and then May 18th at the stadium next to Town Hall for the kickball tournament with Teresa Street.
I hope I can try to commit a team to do this year. But do you want one more thing to say to any student athlete who is participating?
Yeah, we just hope that they have the best day, and it's obviously a fun day for us to put on, and we hope that they have, the best day of the school year that day. So excited to see everybody on May 17th.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Bro, for coming on to the show today, and hope to see you around soon. And we'll have the Special Olympics School Day Games happening at the DYSA Fields here on May 17th at 10 a.m. So thank you, Mr. Bro, for coming on to the show today.
Ben, always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.